December 7th, 2019. Lord, forgive me for my distracted behavior. It bothers me that I can't seem to help getting on the internet. Firstly, for ministry, I start off well. Then I get distracted by all the play pretties and the advertisements and all the scintillating news things on the net. Please give me your wisdom to handle the internet responsibly, Lord, or otherwise cut it off. The Lord began, "Turn it off, Jamie. Turn off the router when you don't need to use it. The Wi-Fi signal, even when it's not connected to your phone, can be used to send pulses electromagnetically to stir the desire within your brain to get on the internet. Demons inhabit, and I do mean physically inhabit, the internet. Turn it off. There will be times when I prompt you to get on, minister to a few souls, and then get off. It needn't be every day. There is a time to withdraw from ministry and from the distraction of the net. Fast also from the internet, my beloved, and dwell more and more in my heart, in my arms, contemplating my deep love for you and for all mankind. You can talk to me always, seeking my wisdom, or just conversing with me. I am your biggest fan, your bestest friend. And yes, as an aside, he literally said bestest. I wouldn't try to correct the Lord on his grammar. Continuing, and ever-present companion. I am with you always, and I will protect you as long as you stay under my covering. Changed the subject then, saying, carry the difficult situations I lay on you. I know some days are hard, very hard, and you worry about certain things, about many, many things, about your son's development, about not giving enough to the poor. Give these fears and worries to me, Jamie. Give them to me and come to me, and I will advise you. Keep praying for President Trump. Donald has had many victories, and they are beginning to get to his head. Pray for his humility. Pray for the humility of those who are supporting him. This bill is one of many slaps in my Father's face. As you have said, mankind has forgotten that all that they have is from my hand. Were I to turn my hand over against them, the economy would tank, blight and pest would devastate crop yields, disease would kill the livestock, and America would find herself in the midst of a food shortage. And then those who so proudly thought that all they had was because of their own efforts and hard work will know how the third world live. And as an aside here, the bill the Lord is referring to is a bill that the Labor Secretary or the USDA Secretary put forth that was going to restrict food stamps to over 500,000 Americans. Now, of course, here the Lord is not defending the lazy and those who are capable of working but who will not work. Neither am I, for that matter. But understand that there are people who are broken and are poor in spirit, and though they don't have children, and though they don't have families, it's not because they don't want to work, they don't have the spirit to work. And I know some of you may hear that and say, well, I've had bad things happen to me too. Well, we've all had bad things happen to us. And some people get knocked down and they have the strength and they're given the grace to get back up. Some people are not. Some people, they get knocked down by life and they never get up. And they're broken and they're sick in a sense. Their soul's sick. It's not that they're physically sick or that they're mentally ill, but their soul is sick and they're broken. And, the Lord has instructed us at Heart Dwellers that we have to treat such people, especially during the tribulation, for those of you who will be remaining for that, either because of negligence or because you're the chosen remnant. There will be people among us, among the numbers of people that will be broken in spirit, totally broken, and they won't be able to cope anymore. And the Lord has instructed us that we are not to judge these people or to treat them harshly, but to care for them because they are as the sick among us. So let's not judge every person, even though they may be physically capable of working and mentally not ill, but their soul is sick and their spirit is broken. And, it's easy to judge a person when you haven't walked in their shoes. And even if you've walked in a similar life to that person, they may be completely different from you, and the things you were able to overcome, they may not be able to. So just an aside on that, just to give you some background on what he's talking about. The Lord continued, capitalism is the best of the worst systems of economy and government, but it is still built on sand, on this fallen, cursed earth, and the world system established by Satan. I intended the earth when I created it to provide all needs for mankind, without labor or profit, for man and woman, and for their children to eat as they had need of, without cost, to drink the crisp, refreshing waters without price, and to enjoy all that I prepared for them without sweat and toil. And so it will be when I come again to rule for the millennium. Truly the mountains will be laid low, and the valleys exalted. And by that saying, it means that it will be made equal, he continued, so that all great and small will be brought to equal footing, able to receive all that is needed for life, and opportunities to pursue their dreams for each and every one, without tuition, cost, reverence of prestige. All will be able to pursue their dreams. But there are many who are alive this very day who will not like this, because they will believe that only the privileged few should have these benefits. They will want to have more food than they need, more land, more houses. And the hinge of wickedness during these years, my 1,000-year reign, will be primarily greed, the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. Satan will be bound, and all his devils, and they will not even be a part of the wickedness of those years, though many will worship him. Rather, they will worship what he represents, rebellion against me. But to you, my faithful dove, you will be busy during these years. You will do what you have always wanted to do, lead souls to me, teach them to live holy lives for me, and you will be perfectly equipped to do so. Great is your reward in heaven for your faithfulness, but there still is a ways to go. Keep going, my beloved, steady as she goes. And that was the end of his message. And I just wanted to add that, whatever the Lord is saying to me is not just for me specifically. For those of you who are laboring and are working, these words are for you too. And I just want to make that clear if I haven't said it before. These messages aren't just me trying to share, oh, look how special I am, God's sharing these words with me. No, these words are not just for me. If they were just for me, he wouldn't have me sharing them with you. He wants me to share them with others so that you can see how his heart is for you, and how loving and how caring he is, and how patient he is with us. And if you have any questions about, how to hear from the Lord, by all means, please leave a comment in the comments section, and I will direct you to some of Mother Claire's teachings. She's far more authoritative in that than I am, and and the Lord's not really instructed me to teach on that. Rather just to point people to those teachings, which is how I learned through journaling. I don't hear an audible voice. I don't see any visions. I just write what's on my heart in the journal. I listen. I write down what I hear in my heart and in my mind from the Lord. And the Catholics call this interior locutions. That's the term that they use. And this is not some special thing. This is for anybody who's willing to avail themselves to it. It takes time to discern what's from the Lord, what's from your flesh, and what's possibly from the enemy. The enemy can get in and deceive you. And I'll tell you up front, if I ever put out a message that's not from the Lord and from the enemy, the Lord's really good about correcting me, showing me right off the bat that that's not from him. And I will immediately post a retraction to that message and tell you what's up. I'm not going to hide that from you. My intention is not to deceive anyone. It's merely to encourage. So I just wanted to share that with you all. God's love and peace be with you all. I love you all, and I'm praying for you.